says, I see this text as a pool of suggestions rather than a set of instructions. It should be cut, expanded, messed about, and improvised on to suit the needs and strengths of all those involved. I think that the concept of this show, it's kind of random, creative commedia actors making these discoveries seemingly organically before the audience's eyes as they're discovering this production of Pinocchio. Struggling company in Italy in 1883, rustic, resourceful, and well, let's look at that set before and let's cut it up, and let's grab this and let's grab that, and I love that because that's the look we want. The magic of the show is found in the things that are just randomly there when the audience comes in. So it's not just the Pinocchio story, it's Pinocchio done at Deaf West.
When there's a deaf actor who is using sign language, how would you hear what they're saying? They will have a hearing counterpart who voices their signed lines. And it's not just an interpretation of the sign. They are both doing that role together. And it's not like a shadow. Hearing actor really must watch and follow the deaf actor, how they're signing, the meaning behind their signs, the emotional connection. So it's really two languages becoming one. They're both, you have a deaf and a hearing person, and the audiences enjoy it because it's equal. They're laughing, they're clapping together, they may cry, all at the same time.
Because the playwright of Pinocchio has said, make this play unique to your theater company, and Deaf West is one of the most amazingly unique theater companies in the United States, this improv work that we're doing right now, including playing theater games like freeze tag, is giving us a chance to get a feel for each of us, because we've all only known each other a few days. This is the beginning of the rehearsal process. And out of that, we're creating a layer of this Italian commedia company in 1883 that's suddenly doing the first ever production of Pinocchio as a play.
Here we are at Deaf West Theater, and we're on stage. We've cleared some of the old set, so there's some walls and the like that are still in here from the previous show. But this is the raw space that we have, and we've started to tape out a few things for our show. We have the beginnings of a door frame. There'll be just a small unit here that will hinge so that they can bring that wall sort of in an onstage position for doing different scenes, and then that door will open off stage in order to open up the stage to play other scenes. And then we're mirroring that bit with a little window unit. So this frame, if you want to hold that, will essentially do the same thing, and there'll be a little shutter here so we can do some fun things with that and give the actors some different elements to play with. The rest of it will be essentially our wood. So we'll have a tree here and a tree here to sort of create a proscenium and an archway. We'll have some foliage across the top. We're going to have another tree here that will actually be able to track back and forth. So again, they can play it in different scenes. They're not stuck with it in the middle of the stage. They can move it off when they need to do some other scenes with some other actors. And then as we move back, it's same thing, different day. We'll have a couple other trees. They may or may not slide. And then back here where we have platforming, we're going to have a scrim with an arch wall. And behind that, we'll have some cutouts that'll slide in and out to create some specific backdrops for us. So we have a little town on the hill. We'll be on the street, inside the town, and then for the belly of the whale, we'll be there. and backing that will be a white site. So very simple and straightforward, but a lot to get into a little space. So these are some of our fabric color and texture sample. So the idea with this and this is that our tree trunks will be cut out of wood, so it'll just be a simple sort of thin Luan tree trunk that we'll put different scraps of fabric onto, and then some little scrap pieces of wood, and then just by working with some charcoal, some rotten stone, and maybe even like shoe polish or brown wax, we can create a nice color, warm palette, and in addition with the actual natural wood tones, hopefully it'll look somewhat tree-like, but it'll have some nice warmth and color and texture under the lights. This is just the same version, but only with fabric. And then this is a sample of our foliage. Sort of the conceit here is that they've maybe taken some old circus tarps and they've strung them up in between the branches of the trees, but at the same time we're playing this as sort of the foliage of the tree themselves. But it's a yellow velvet that we've painted and aged to kind of look a little bit more circusy or carnivalesque.
When I first talked to Stephen about his ideas, he was talking about using a reference of Commedia dell'arte makeup and masks and costumes, and so I pulled up this research, and I really liked the pale faces with the smoky eyes and pink lips, pink cheeks as an underbase for the makeup. And then we would go, especially for Pinocchio, into something a little bit more cartoony, more puppet-like for her. But this would be the base that we're using for all of the actors.
I think The Layers of Pinocchio is about how reality and fantasy are conflicted. Hopefully the costumes will be able to emphasize Pinocchio's journey and who these people are that make him into a real boy. What is compelling about Pinocchio, it is about love, about mentorship. It's about guidance and following the rules and what rules to break. And I feel like I'm going to exaggerate that in the costumes as well, bringing a lot of costuming techniques and then breaking them apart and being able to make my own rules. It's all about fantasy.